Hey guys, what's going on? So, for those of you who have voted on the poll, thank you for voting. I was very indecisive. So, everybody, I'm going to be doing a how to draw follow along female Mandalorian torso and up and male torso and up. So, everyone, hello. I'm Hannah Roll, the face of all the digital art and a couple of the edits that are on my channel. So, thank you guys for following and subscribing. Everyone from Stay on Target, you know who you are. It's good talking to you. Glad that you guys can put a name to a face. So, and everyone who isn't from Stay on Target or is from Bismo, anybody else, hello to you guys too. It's so great to see you. Thank you for coming. Tell me how the follow on goes. It's my first time kind of doing this, so I hope that I can explain it clearly and well. I'll have my camera positioned over top so you guys can watch that with me. So thank you guys once again. I hope you enjoy. And first thing we're gonna do is have our little list of tools. So piece of paper. I have two, for one for male, one for female. I'll show you guys side by side at the end. Hair tie for all my long-haired peoples out there. So when you're looking down, your hair doesn't get in the way. Wood pencil, mechanical pencil. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to mostly be using the wooden pencil, but you can use basically whatever you want. As long as you draw lightly and erase. I just like the wooden pencil better for shading. I will show you guys that as I go along, but I will use this because the lead tip is really good for little details. So it doesn't really matter what you use as long as it works and you can erase. So if they don't have working erasers, you can get cap erasers or one of the really big block rubber erasers. And then everyone using a wooden pencil, get yourself a sharpener. And that is all you guys are going to need. I'll do colored pencil videos and other types, paint, whatever media you guys want to see. If you guys like this type of content, so, let me know. I love hearing from you guys. It's going to be a very broad, general Mandalorian look. So I will go into some details. If you want to customize your character, you can give them a name, let me know, whatever you want, okay? So I'm going to get my camera and everything set up, and I'll see you in just half a second. Okay, everybody, so I got my paper here. We're going to keep it longwise like this. So I'm going to start with their helmet, because that I think is always the easiest for body position. So I'll try to do my best here, but bear with me. That's why I'm showing you guys my paper. So, cut. Okay, everybody, so we're going to start with our paper longwise like this. And we're going to start with our helmet. So, draw a circle. Remember to draw light. It doesn't have to be huge or perfect, just a general circle. Do it all in one motion. You can do it like I did in little motions, whatever gets you a circle on your paper. And then we're just going to grid it into 4. All right? So we're going to have our Mandalorians looking straight at us. It's simpler. I'll do 3/4 view, side view, any other tutorials that you guys want to see in the future. At a later date, I figured just start with something simple. So after we get it gridded off, we're going to take this center line and bring it down about a centimeter-ish from the bottom of our circle. Okay? Then once you have that, we're going to go from the outside of both of these lines. So right here, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to bring them down to about the bottom of our circle. And just repeat that on the other side until they sort of match. They don't gotta be twins, they just gotta be sisters. So once you get that, we're gonna start from our bottom line here and draw a horizontal line about yay big. Not big, just very little. And then from here to here, we're gonna connect them. Now for females, I like to make them slightly more curved than for a male. Anyone who sees that, I just think that it completes the look a little bit more. So a very slightly curved, so very almost straight, but very slightly curved. Hope you guys can tell that it's a little bit curvy. And then we're just going to repeat it on the other side. And then we have our helmet here. So you can erase the bottom of your circle now. Get rid of those eraser scrappings. And then, so we'll do their visor. So their helmets come up like about to here. So we're gonna do the V shape of the nose piece of the visor that typical females have. Even the armor has hers, even though it's more of a rectangle than a triangle. But so about right here, it's just above halfway on your line. See, I drew a little line there. We're going to draw a V for the nose of our visor, and then you can erase this line. Mine was a little dark. I'm preaching to you guys about keeping it light, and here I am, biggest hypocrite. So erase that middle line there. And then right on this now bottom horizontal line that we drew in, we're going to draw 2 vertical lines from it. About there, just dividing it into 3 pieces. And we're going to bring that up almost to the tip of our V shape here. See, it said they don't touch. It kind of goes out a little bit like that so that it doesn't touch because of their visor shapes. So I think that the next part is, I think, sometimes the hardest part of the female visor, because they all kind of vary. You can tell the difference between Bo-Katan and Casca's visor. Casca is more, I want to say narrow. It's a little bit more narrow, but generally we're going to keep from here to here. We're just going to go straight out until you come kind of close to the edge, and then we're going to attempt to make them match on the other side. Again, they don't have to be twins, just gotta be sisters. And then this bottom portion to complete our visor is slightly curved. So it's going to come from here, and we're just going to meet them in an upward curve, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And there is our visor so far. So now from here you can actually get rid of the rest of your guiding lines. We don't need them. Depending on how dark you drew, you might still be able to see them a little bit on your paper, but that's okay. So get rid of all your eraser scraps, and now we're going to do the cheekbones. So the big indents, the males generally have their whole bottom going inward, but the females have more of a cutout. So from the bottom of our helmet here, where the visor is, there's that little space, because we split it up into 3. We are going to put 2 vertical lines, very small, right there, and then from the edge, so right here to here, is generally where we're going to put the other mark. So I'm going to put mine right here, and this one, we follow it out right there. So this is going to mark our curve. So depending on how thick you want your space in here and over here to be, that will dictate your curve. You can have it very thick, or you can have it very thin, be a very exaggerated curve. I'm going to go somewhere in between. You guys take the creative liberty, and you guys can dictate for that for yourself. So I'm going to go like this and follow my curve right down to have these be about even. Then again, I'll show you guys on this side. I'm right-handed, so bear with me here. You can have it be really thick and have this portion be very big, or if you want it to be thinner, you can bring it down like that and have it really thin. Whatever you guys decide to do. I'm gonna make mine very generic, keep it somewhere in between. So again, they don't really have to be perfect. Sorry guys if there's a cut there. I got a call from my sister. You guys know her, Olivia Roll. She goes on the stream all the time. Just had her MRI. She's doing pretty good. Has it's going, you know. But she called me to tell me that she watched a movie. So excuse me for that. Back to what we were doing. The bottom of the cheekbones. So we just drew the top ridge. Now we want to draw the bottom. So the bottom is going to be making more of a triangle shape here. So this is going to end up being a triangle right here and here. You guys can, again, if you want to have it be wide, if you want to have it be thin, do whatever you want. I'll show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you the like some options on this side. So I'm going to do mine like this, where I'm going to have the edge of my triangle comes down to meet the top of the visor piece right here, okay? So, but on this side, if you guys want to like do it really wide, you can bring it really down, have the line meet here, or potentially if you want to have them not be so wide, you can just draw more of a diagonal. So, whatever you guys want to do, I guess as long as they match on both sides, it really doesn't matter. It's your Mandalorian. You can make them look like what you want them to. So I'm just going to make this side match. The other side matches enough. And then, so this is pretty easy. Next, for the two pieces that tilt inward to create our cheekbone, just going to draw a straight diagonal one side to the other. Draw a straight diagonal one side to the other. So now this is pretty much your helmet, except for the earpieces, and then if you so desire, the little, I don't know, little bit Wi-Fi router piece on the top. I don't know what it's called. I'm going to put one of those there. If you guys don't want to, you don't have to. Not everybody has it in the Mandalorian universe. So, but to start with their ears, I guess it's kind of ears. Whatever you guys want to call it, I'm calling it their ears. I'm just going to draw a little rectangle from just above the edge of the eyepiece, and it's going to just drop down to meet the edge of our cheekbone. And I'm going to copy it on the other side. I always find if you want to do something to make it match better, one step on one side, then repeat it on the other side, and so on and so forth, instead of drawing the whole like right side and then doing the left side. So, and then they come down in another vertical line. So now we have this little shape going on. Some Mandalorians have it where it sticks out in a little triangle. I'm just going to curve my bottoms. That's what I'm going to do. But you can have them like stick out a little bit or not at all. Whatever, you can have it tapered down. It's your Mandalorian. You do as you desire. So I'm just going to... So that's basically our helmet. I'm going to stick the little Wi-Fi router piece they use to zoom in over long distances. It's just going to be a single, slightly thicker line up just past the top of the helmet here. And then a triangle shape coming just outside, connecting over and making a little triangle. And then I'm going to color mine in with my pencil. So there is your helmet. Now is a great time to fill in your visor if you haven't done so already. Just gonna take my pencil, go like this. Color that in. Bam. So there's our helmet. So now I'm gonna work on the neck and then the chest plate down to the torso and arms. So the neck piece I like to start with taking from right here in the middle of the visor and drawing a straight line down. So from there, we're going to draw another V basically. So one diagonal line here, one diagonal here, which is going to be the start of their collar. I'm taking mine from the edges of the visor and going down. You can take it from the middle, you can take it a little wider out if you want them to have a looser collar, whatever you want to do, but I'm taking mine here to here, down to meet that line. And then from wherever you drew those lines, we're going to draw two horizontal ones perpendicular to the lines we just drew, and out about not quite to the length of the helmet, just like inside of it, like 3/4 of the way out for everybody who likes like a measurement, and then matching it on the other side about 3/4, not quite the whole way. And then from here, you're just going to draw almost a matching line here. So it's just going to go down, slightly diagonal, and down. So a lot of Mandalorians have a vest that their armor connects to. That's what I'm going to draw, is their vest, basically. You can see it on Bo-Katan's armor especially, is a brown line that goes from here to here. So just draw a line, just putting it like a bowl edge to the bottom of what you just drew. So there is their collar, and then obviously you can't just have this floating here. You need to put in their neck. You can just pick 2 places, put in a neck here, and then I'm going to fill mine in because they do have blacks underneath to make their neck in a shadow and everything. So there is helmet and the beginning of the neck. So now for the armor, we're going to draw just underneath our collar line, still on this guiding line that we drew in, a horizontal line that comes out almost across the entire width of the helmet. So if I draw this up, I draw that up, it comes out to the edge, right? And then the heart piece, since we drew this middle line, you can just bring it down and then position your heart piece wherever you want, but it's basically a little prism like this. And on the inside, you can draw one that also matches. My hand's shaking a little bit, excuse me, and then a dark rectangle. So that's my heart piece, somewhere in the middle of their armor. And then we're going to do the bottom of their chest plate. So we're going to draw a horizontal line coming from here both ways, just enough, about 1 centimeter in total, or closer to 1/2 inch, around there. And then we want these edges to like match up and kind of bring a curve, since their chest plate would then, curve for their bust. So we're going to have like almost a upside down candy cane type thing going on with a little bit more angularness to it. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm so sorry. So from the edges of the top, we're just going to bring them down. It's a very steep diagonal. So not exactly a straight line, but also not 45 degrees. Somewhere around the 15-degree mark on both sides to make the top of a trapezoid. So there's mine. And then we're going to do similarly here, but it's going to be like 45-degree angle, making, again, the top of a trapezoid. So then from here, we're going to have them connect. You can have them connect almost however you want. It is your Mandalorian. I am going to have mine come out like this and then connect them with a curved line. I'll show you on this side. So curved line and then a straight line going out this way. You can have it come just like a straight line, such as this if you would like. You can have it go out like the way I did it. Or you can have a much wider bottom line and a steeper, less circular curve. I'm going to keep mine this way because it's more standard. But again, whatever you want to do. It's creativity. You can do whatever you want. So there's my horizontal and my curve. So there is, they don't really match, but that's okay. So there is a chest, the top of the chest plate. And then they also, females have that extra bit. You'll see it on Bo-Katan and Casca's armor. It's spaced down. It covers their gut right above their belts. So we are going to draw that. Now, this can be drawn a couple of different ways, but first, you're just going to copy your trapezoid down beneath this line. And then, you are going to bring it, again, just kind of copying what we drew up here. So now you can either, Bo-Katan's armor comes here, so it'd stop here and it'd have this diagonal here and here, and then connected on the bottom. Casca's armor comes up to the edge a little bit farther and then around. So you can bring it up to here and continue following your lines, and then 2 straight ones down and across. Or you can bring them part way to the bottom of your curve, go down and across. I'm going to do mine like Bo-Katan's and have it meet the curve, drawing these 2 diagonal lines in and then across. Then you guys can, if you guys want to go up, you're just going to go up like this and then down and then meet them here, just a little bit of a bigger gut piece. And so a little nice little detail from a couple of lines right there. Bo-Katan has them, so since I drew this piece after hers, I'm just going to stick with it and add, oops, my bad. I also just bumped my camera, sorry. And anyway, so now we're going to do their shoulder piece and like their torso. So for their torso, you're not going to see a lot of it because of their armor. So we're just going to draw following our diagonal here and here. Excuse me while I search for the words. And then it doesn't have to be straight. It can be a little curvy because it is the fabric, their vest. Just bring it up kind of to your curve there. And then we'll draw the arms and stuff, so it might look a little funny now, but art is all about trusting the process, so please trust me and the process. And then for the vest, connecting over this way. And then the beginning of their underneath where the vest stops is right here and here. So we'll do the arms, the shoulders next, so that right here doesn't look so funny, just a floating neck and head with a chest piece. So let's get rid of our guiding line. We're going to do the shoulder bit that is right here, and then their pauldron. So the shoulder piece that sits in between the pauldron and the top of their flight suit is basically just this little curved rectangle. So we're going to have a line that's horizontal right above the chest plate and just below our collar here. So you can see right there, just above, just below. And then we're just going to copy it on the other side. It's going to just extend to the edge of the chest plate. It's a very thin piece. And then it's very small, but we're going to have our line slightly curve out away from the head and then copy it right over there, matching the heights. And then you're going to connect those two with another line. So it just looks like a rectangle that was flipped in perspective. And then we're going to copy it on this side. So we're going to do a slightly curved line here. And a slightly curved line parallel to, connect them with a straight line. So there's the piece between where the pauldron will go and the neck piece. So all you can do now is connect where the shoulder is, right there and there. Just connect them however you want. I'm just going to go straight out. And then we're going to draw the line that is going to bring us to our pauldron. So it's basically just going to follow this. So if you look at your own shoulders, they come down. So we're going to draw just a line about yay big. We can always erase if it's a little too much, but basically just continuing that path underneath. I would recommend not lining them up with the top of this straight line, just a little bit beneath. You can see I made it a little bit underneath of it, just so that it gives you the illusion that this is sitting on top of the shoulder. Really helps those little details when it comes to art. So now we're doing our pauldrons. You can draw these however you want. I'm going to draw mine like we see in the show, but you can style yours after Din's. You could style them a little bit like the armorers. We don't really see hers a lot, but they're very small, more circular. You can add a spike to it. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just going to draw mine nice and simple. So what we're going to do first is the line that shows us how big the pauldron is. So it's going to be parallel-ish to this line from the chest plate. So it's going to be pretty much just the diagonal going about this far apart from the top. So it kind of matches up. See, like right here and right here kind of matches up. So, and then on the other side, we're going to copy it. And there's the beginning of our pauldron. So the pauldrons that we see on the night owls are simple curved pieces compared to Din's. So the top is going to be slightly curved up just past our shoulder line. So you can see it just comes past there. And then we're going to match it here, slightly curved up just past our shoulder line. And then we're going to follow our continuing curve this way. So curve it down just to meet up with the bottom of this line, and continuing it here, just meeting it there. So there is our pauldron. All we have to do now is connect these lines straight across. Bam. So my girl's going to be a night owl. I'm just going to draw a little circle for her. So there's my night owl. You guys, if you want to put your own signet on it, whatever you want, you can put a heart, put a smiley face, draw a snake, whatever you want. I'm just drawing the circle of the night owl, but I'm not doing the detail yet because I still have to show you guys how to draw the rest of it. So now that we have our shoulders, we're going to do the crease between the chest and the arm. It doesn't have to, it's not uniform obviously, but somewhere in the middle, closer to the chest, we're just going to draw a line down and a line down. They don't have to be a certain length. I'm just bringing mine down past the pauldron a little bit. We're gonna accentuate those a little bit more afterward when I show you guys shading and stuff. But right now we're just drawing the outline. So now on the flight suits, they have, if you look, sort of like this sleeve and then the rest of it. So I like to draw that because it really helps with where their shoulders go. So you're just going to draw a little line, imaginary, following through your pauldron down and across to make a shirt sleeve, basically. Just like that. And then we're going to do the rest of it as soon as we go through the belt. Since I'm showing you guys torso and up, I'm going to stop at the belt, and then they'll show you how far along you have to draw in the arms. If you guys want like a full body Mandalorian, let me know. That way I can show you shins, knees, the places where their guns sit, the rest of the forearm and gloves, all that good stuff. But I did promise I only put for torso and helmet today. And it's going to be a rather long video, so I still have to show you the males. So basically, the belt is pretty simple. We're going to start with a very light horizontal line just underneath here. So you're going to take it from this edge all the way to this edge, and it's going to be very light, just very light. Mandalorian belts have a lot of 3D-ness to them because of all the pouches and the belt clip. So, but to get your shape, I like to do a very light line across. So I hope you guys can see that, okay? I'll make mine a little bit darker for your convenience. But keep that as light as you can. And then staying light, we're going to bring it out just a little bit this way and just a little bit this way. No bigger than like your pinky nail. Just here. Very small. So, and then again, staying light. This whole time we're going to stay very lightly drawn. We're just going to bring two sides down about yay far and then connect them. So you have this sort of curved-ish rectangle that you've drawn very lightly underneath of the gut piece. So now, using this very light outline that we've created, we're going to do their pouches and the belt clip. So the belt clip is in the center, so from halfway on your diagonal right here, you can draw a very light line down and repeat it on the other side. So now you have this grid. And then you're going to darken the line inside of your belt, just like that. This piece is going to be the clip. These outer pieces are going to be where their pouches sit. So starting with the clip, you're just going to darken your rectangle now, because this part works inside. So inside your rectangle, we are going to basically draw two small side rectangles right here and here, kind of like what we did when we go up here. So a very small rectangle there, very small rectangle there. So basically the same thing with when we did the earpieces. And then I'm going to start on the left because this is not symmetrical, it's, one piece. So starting on the left, you're going to take basically from where twice your rectangle size is. So if I were to copy this rectangle, it would be twice as big, right? So we're going to take from up here and right here, and we're going to draw a V shape going out and toward the center. But you're not going to connect them, okay? So you're going to draw from right here and right here, the beginning of a V shape, but not connected. And then you're going to connect it. So it's more of a funny bucket shape, a very funny bucket. So it kind of creates the clip that you would see on basically any Mandalorian belt, at least in the Night Owls. Din's is different, obviously. Din's shiny and a fancy tin man, but here's our clip. And then we're going to draw a square, basically, right here on the bottom of our fancy bucket. And then we're just going to bring the line the whole way vertical, and then halfway in between this space. So halfway, I'll mark it for you guys, right here and right here. Halfway between on this space. You're going to draw horizontal lines going all the way out to the edge of this other rectangle, and then connecting them with very small vertical lines. So I'm going to zoom in for you guys so you guys can see that a little bit better. So, especially because all these small pieces. So what we just did for a recap is two small rectangles, a funny looking bucket, a square, and then a bigger rectangle connecting the centerpiece. Now, all we have to do left for this belt is to draw the clip, which is literally just a square halfway on the right. So if this is the halfway mark, it is on the right. And then, so that is your belt clip. So all you have to do is the pouches now. Of course, there's typically two on each side that we can see when you're looking at them front on like this. So this is why our lines are very light, because we're going to take from the edge here, and we're going to drop our line down. You can draw regular darkness, drop it down about this much. It's not very big. So see, it's like literally the size of my pencil tip. And then we're going to go over, not halfway, but just over halfway to here. So it's just a little bit bigger than this section. And we're going to connect those lines. And then we're going to continue this line, and we're going to continue it up. So it's going to go up the whole way to this very light line we did before. And then a little bit past, so it's almost touching our gut piece. So that's one pouch. So we're going to do that on the other side. So I'm going to start like we did, very small line matching this one. Going to go over, this time left, a little bit more than halfway up to our very light line, and then closer now to the gut piece. So that right here, you can see this is a bigger space than in between here. This is narrower on both sides. And then we're going to draw the other pouch. So from the light lines that we drew, you can draw very small, darken them on both sides. So you can see that here in comparison to here. This is still very light. This is dark. And then we're going to connect them with a vertical line. Draw it top to bottom, bottom to top, doesn't matter. On that side, on this side. And then we're going to continue both lines down to meet the length of this first pouch. And then over to the edge now of our very lightly drawn rectangle, and we're just going to take this now, and you can fully darken it. So you can see the difference between this line and this one. This is darker. This is what we're actually drawing. So it goes up the whole way here, and then a little bit past. So again, having this dip here and here. So on this side, I'll go through it a little bit slower. We're going to take from here, and we're going to drop it down to match the length of this pouch. And then we're going to go over to the left to match it up with the edge of this light line. And then from there, you're going to go up to where the original line was drawn, and then just a little bit past it and over, connecting them like so. And so there we go is our belt. All you have to do is add the flaps. I just do like an open shape trapezoid from right here to here, right here to here. You can draw them kind of wherever you want. You can have them like a triangle, like classic. You can have it be a U shape. You can bring it up farther. But this is mine. And then for these, since they are side views, I bring from the top a quarter of the way in, all the way down, almost anyway, and over. So that it has like, it gives the illusion of the side of the flap. So on this side, again, it's a quarter of the way from the inside, down almost the entire way, and then over to meet the bottom. So there is the belt patch. I feel like that's the belt is the hardest part of the entire thing, I guess. I don't know. It took me a while to memorize how to draw it, so I hope that I did it enough justice that you guys can copy that down. So I'm going to explain what we're doing with the arms. Now is a good time to pause in case you guys missed anything and you just need to pause, copy down a few things, trying to go slow for everybody. So we're going to do the arms, the rest coming down to the bottom here. So I'm going to draw a very light line just out from both sides of the bottom of my pouches, just so that I know when to stop, and then I'll erase them. So the arms are pretty simple. They're just going to go straight down, and since it's cloth, you can they're going to be like wiggly lines, but I'll draw them ghost, very, very light, ghostly, down, following the general shape, and then dark, going over with the shape of the cloth, just kind of like what we did with the belt here. So I'm going to start from the outside and just draw a line down at it's a very slight diagonal, but it's basically straight. And then we're going to copy it right over here. So that's going to show you where our arms are going to be. So the arms are going to come off the side, basically off the side because of our female Mandalorian here. But they're going to stay connected up by the chest plate because they would be coming out to avoid resting on this belt. You know, that can't be comfortable. So we're going to take from right here. It's just a little bit off the side of our belt, and it's just a straight line up. So just a little bit off the side, straight line part way up. Copy it on this side. So there's our shape of our arm. And then we're just going to connect them going sort of diagonal. So they're not perfect, and they're not exactly the same, but that's okay. I find it, for any of you guys who are perfectionists out there, I see you, I hear you. That is why I like doing cloth a lot, especially on Mandalorians. Their flight suits are pretty thick and, you know, designed to combat all sorts of weather and stuff. So if they're not the same, they don't, it's okay because they don't have to be. They don't have to look the same. So basically both arms are going to look different. Same with your legs. Even if it is a front-on view like this, they'll never look the same. So take some comfort in that the arms, it's going to be okay. It's going to be quite easy. So I'm going to start on the outside of both, but we're going to do this arm first, and then we're going to do that arm afterward. So I'm going to draw another ghost line coming out just a little bit from here and going up. Just part way up. And then and I'm just gonna kind of copy it right here like that. So it's just 2 parallel lines going up toward the breastplate. Excuse me, my voice was dying for a second. Anyway, starting from the top, we're going to draw our line down. And then it's going to be kind of wiggly because of where the fabric scrunches up. So right here-ish is where our elbow is, which is why I drew this line here. This is kind of where the elbow is going to fall. The general vicinity. I'm just going to make a little circle. And then you can make one match over here so that you don't have to try and look past all the dark lines over here to draw that one. So this is where our fabric is going to crunch up more. So I'm just going to draw a sideways U. 2 sideways U. Now it looks like a sideways M. And then just 2 smaller ones. And then you can just do wiggly line down. So just a wiggly line down. And then from the top here, wiggly line meeting that one. So there's, you see, our fabric. And then on the inside, we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're going to draw a straight line here. And draw a little bit of a straight line here. Connect the bottom with a straight-ish line. And then right here, where it meets up with our original M, I'm going to draw a big sideways, very wide open curve here. And then a wiggly line down. A wiggly line up. And you can erase some of your guiding lines here on this side. There is the arm. So it's not too bad, just some wiggly lines. Then over here, we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to draw a diagonal up toward the breastplate, diagonal up toward the breastplate. And we're going to draw another M on the outside, followed by 2 smaller sideways U's. And then a wiggly line going down, a wiggly line going up, meeting right here, just like we did up here. And then our big U right there. Wiggly line. Make them meet. And then a wiggly line. Meeting pretty much the edge, the widest of our breastplate here, where it peeks out the most. So there is the arms and our Mandalorian. So basically now it's just going to be shading and adding some detail. So if you want to draw in your detail and then do shading after, I would recommend that. That is what I'm going to do. So I had drawn on my signet of the night owl. So I'm going to draw that on. I'll walk you guys through it in case you guys want to put the signet of the night owl on the pauldrons of your Mandalorian. So you're just going to draw those circles, right, like I had done. And then a diagonal meeting about halfway. From here to here, we draw this diagonal. So if you guys are doing a wooden pencil like I was, you guys can switch over to mechanical because I feel like it's easier sometimes to get a thinner line right there. But if you just want to sharpen your pencil or get a different one, do that too. So, and then for the night owl, it makes like a sort of an ear. So it's kind of this like hump and then a diagonal there. So just beneath halfway is a diagonal up towards the one we just did. And then an outward curve connecting them. So I'll let you guys look at that. So on the other side, it is again a diagonal going up, a diagonal halfway going toward the one we just did, and an outward hump connecting them. And then of course the eyes, which is just basically just a little elongated dot and a diagonal going down. Again, the dot, which sits kind of right between these two, the diagonal going down. So there is your night owl signet pretty much. This stuff is black on the outside, so you can fill that in. And there's our night owl female. So I'm not really going to do too much with mine as far as painting and stuff goes. I'm just going to leave her like this. I will add, do some, places for dents in her armor. So when I'm sketching sort of like this, I'll just draw cross hatches. So if I have, she took a blaster right here, I'm going to draw some lines, and then I'm going to draw some lines going this way. If she took one off, to the head, like Boba Fett, I'm just going to draw some lines going this way, and opposites. It just makes, these little baby grids. So I'm gonna do that in a couple of places, just like here. You guys can do that if you want. These lines here, like I said, we can adjust them. We're just going to elongate those the whole way. I'm going to make those lighter. So there is, basically that's all I'm going to do to her armor. Right here they have that overstitching, so if you want to do a parallel line crossed somewhere, you can. I'm going to. And then just some detail, bringing more parallel lines through just to do that overstitching that we see on the Mandalorian flight suits. So now I'm going to do shading. You guys can pause if you want to add in a couple doodles, paint, like here and here. If you want to give them the V on her head, or just whatever you want. The Mandalorians in the new season have stripes going one way or another, different colored breastplates. Whatever you want to do, just, you can shade lightly, but I'm going to go right into regular old shading. So the best thing we're going to do is pick a place where the sun is going to hit. I'm having the sun come straight down, basically the view that I'm looking. So it's here and it goes down, right? So right on. So basically anything under the armor is going to be darker than the armor itself. So this piece right here and this piece right here is going to be darker. So I'm going to color this one all the way so it's basically as dark as our visor. And then this part not so much. So press lightly. Always press lightly when you're shading. You can add more shading. Sometimes erasing isn't the best option when it comes to that. So I'm just going to make that all even. And then darken up the around where the armor touches it. So right here, especially these side pieces, because also the arms would cast a shadow. And then just along this side as well, just like so. So there's that. You can see I'm going to do this piece now. So I'm going to do it very light, very, very light, all the way across, keeping it the same. I'm not going to do any fancy things with blending. This is just a very simple how to draw a Mandalorian video. I know that it's been dragged out. We're at the 40-minute mark now. So the male one, I'm going to put in a separate video as well. So those of you who want to draw a male Mandalorian at this point and have gotten bored of the female, you don't have to watch. You can just go. It's okay. It's great seeing you. But we're going to do the arms now. The arms underneath our shirt sleeve, basically. So we're going to also color those very light. Just, you can go in circles. Don't press hard. See, I'm holding my pencil at the very back, so it helps me anyway, press lighter. So I'm just going to copy those, we're just going to color it smoothly with the side of our lead. We're just going to go the whole way. And so it's okay if you color outside the lines a little bit, you can just erase. So now we've colored here, here, and here. So we are going to start with our chest plate here. You don't have to do too much, just add some places that are slightly darker. They don't have to be uniform, it doesn't have to be the same as mine. It can be wherever you want. Some places can be really darker, just like that, between here. So nothing too hard, I think. You can add a couple extra like lines one way or another if you want. Basically, that's what mine looks like. So it's basically all about layering. Start light, add the darker ones afterward. It's like just take your time a little bit. If you're in a rush, well, honestly, if you're in a rush, just draw faster, I guess. I don't know. I'm usually in a rush when I do these things as well, just on the go, drawing a Mandalorian quickly to like relieve some stress, relieve some anxiety. What else could be better except maybe watching the actual Mandalorian show and making fun of all the flaws and thinking about what they could have done better or what they did right. So, excuse my rambling. Both arms now, shading is going to be different because that is what gives something a little bit of realism, is the shading. So we have all our creases here. So I'm going to draw these little lightly darker lines just straight out from the creases like this. And they're just going to follow out basically everywhere where the crease dips in. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side as well, wherever the crease dips in. And then I'm just going to follow it here as on the other side. They don't have to be a certain length. They don't have to be a certain darkness, just drawing them out. So that starts our sleeve. So next we're going to darken right underneath of this sleeve and then the side as well, right to that first line, and then going lighter on our pencil just to blend those a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing down here, basically just right here and here, just making them lighter. And then from here you can do almost whatever you want. Where we drew our lines is where it's going to be darker, and then all the space in between is going to be lighter. So I'm gonna show you guys on this side, and then you guys can attempt it over here. I'll still talk through what I'm doing, but if you want to just watch me do it on this side, try to do it for yourself on this side, go for it. So right here is where I'm deciding is where the darkest part, the crease of my elbow sleeve is going to be. So I'm going to draw this darker. I always say start light, but I'm going to do it darker, almost to the side. And then again, going lighter on my pencil, even moving my hand back to start blending the difference in between, and then making them meet with these lines that we drew, like so. So connecting these lines every so often, like this. Basically, there's no order to it, just making these slightly darker marks, connecting all of our lines that we had drawn in until it looks like this. You can do some darker portions now where you drew the extra shadow. And there is a sketched sleeve, so it's not, not perfect, but that's kind of the point. Can add in extra shading on this side because of where the body is. So I'm going to take over my pencil and just color in my line like that and just enunciate those shadows like that. So there is one sleeve. Now the other sleeve, I'll still walk through what I'm doing, but just basically what we were doing over here, starting underneath this sleeve, making it dark, blending it out until this first line crease that we had drawn, and then doing it on the bottom up until here, up to those first lines, And then deciding where your darkest part is. It's going to match this one pretty much. So this is where mine is. Making sure if you need to move your hand back on your pencil, you are. And then connecting these lines with basically just a couple scribbles. And then I went outside my line a little bit, but that's okay. Just erase that. And then making sure that over here, where it is closer to the body, is catching more of that shadow. So right here and right here. And there is 2 sleeves. So if yours don't look like mine, which they probably won't look exactly like mine, that is perfectly okay. That's the beauty of clothes. The lighting hits them differently and nothing looks the same. So that's comforting to me. I hope you find some comfort in that too if you're a new artist or just trying to find some style or practicing. Next, we're going to continue up with our flight suit is this whole piece. So right here is going to be the darkest. So you can like medium pressure. I'm still holding the back of my pencil and coloring in between everything right here. And then making this top just a little bit darker. Right there and right there. And there's my collar. And then right here is going to be the darkest, and so is right here, because that is where our creases are going. So you can draw that dark. I'm going to draw a curved line basically here, down, here, and down. And then shading them in. You guys will be able to see it in a minute. They don't have to match at all. So curved line, curved line. And then underneath our pauldrons are going to be dark too. So right here, just following them around. Right here, following it around. And then right underneath these shoulder bits. And then coloring this lightly, just like we did for our sleeves. Just like that. And then adding in our creases of the fabric. So crease is going to be more of a curve-ish, not really horizontal, quite vertical, more like, especially right here. So I'm going to just draw some dark marks here and then a couple of like curvy lines like that. And then just kind of adding shading now wherever you feel like it needs. So I'm just going to do mine like this. It's just a sketch. So it's going to look like that. Not going to look. See? So there is, you still catch all your lines that you had. Nothing gets lost. So now we're going to do here and here. So our triangle underneath our visor is going to be dark, but not as dark as our visor. So just press lightly so you can see the difference of this triangle and here. And then coloring everything very lightly once again. So these are going to stay light. You really don't have to do anything. You can just add a little bit of darkness to the fronts of them. And here, our crease is going to be halfway, horizontal. So that's where I'm putting mine. And so the darkest is going to be the edge coming out. It's just going to go in like this. You can take the tip of your pencil to draw those lines in better. Follow the shape, just horizontally shading. So there is our flight suit and part of our armor. So I'm going to do our pauldrons next. Lightly shading everything but your signet, or if you didn't draw a signet, lightly shading the whole thing, but lightly shading either way. So there's one side. Here is the other side. This is where I had put a blaster mark, as so I called them. And then deciding where the shadow is going to hit. I'm going to have mine just along the edge like this in the bottom. So just drawing this kind of funny curve. And then right here I'm doing the exact same thing. You don't have to do anything else too much other than that. And with this is pretty simple, straightforward. The whole thing is going to be colored very lightly with your pencil. I'll color this half with the mechanical, going in the side using the side of my lead, like that. And then I'll get my wooden pencil now and show you this as well, using the side and shading it. You get pretty much the exact same results. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to continue using my mechanical pencil. You can use whatever you want, of course. So I'm just darkening these lines, and then this outside prism, just color it in. This I would recommend not shading. I would just leave it white because most Mandalorian heart pieces are silver and stand out amongst the rest of their painted armor. So I'm going to leave mine unshaded, just white paper underneath for that purpose. And then taking here and deciding where their chest falls, obviously. So I'm going to take from the bottom of my heart piece, right on the outside, I'm just going to draw just a little line outward. And I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So this is going to be shadow. And then from the top, this corner and down, I'm going to draw a horizontal, almost meeting here, but not quite. It goes to the center. So here and down to the center of both of those. So right here and here, and these three pieces, they're going to be where your shadows lay. So you can just very lightly add another layer of pencil onto it so you can tell. And then just giving it a little bit of a curve. Now, every Mandalorian chest plate is different than we see in Bo-Katan's. Hers kind of comes downward like this. The Armorer's goes in a circle, in like a U shape across her chest. Casca's has more of this box. You can do any of those. If you have a reference picture up for what shape you want, go with whatever you want. I'm going to do mine kind of like how Casca's armor is, and it's going to go all the way down like this. So this is where all our darkest parts are, especially right here and right here. So from the center of this, we're going to make it darker going up. And we're going to repeat it on the other side. Just a little darker going up, and then expanding that as far out as you want. I'm not going to do mine the entire grid section. I'm just going to go like this and make mine go like that. Just to have, so here's my original grid, but here's my new shading. Same thing. Basically on this side, of course, they're not going to match up the same. That is okay. That's wanted. And then we're going to add a little extra to the side here, about half of our original, and then to the bottom as well. And then if you drew hashes, God, can't speak, sorry guys, here you can shade on top of those as well. And if you want to do scratches instead of these big blaster marks, just take the tip of your pencil and just go like, you can just draw them. So there's a mark there, some marks there. You can put them wherever you want. I'm going to do mine like scratches across the armor. You can even come down to your gut piece and add those in. So they have been through some stuff. If you want to put them on the pauldrons as well, you can. So I'm going to draw 2 marks there, and then I'm going to have one come up into my night owl signet. So there's like your damaged chest piece. We're going to do the belt, and then finally the head. You can sign it with your initials, and we'll be done with the female. And of course, in the next video, I'll make sure to link that one, or you can just search through my channel, the Male Mandalorian torso and helmet. So the belt, this piece, and this piece are going to be the darkest. So you can just color them with a decent amount of pressure so that they are the darkest, because that's where your shadows are going to be, thanks to this pouch and this pouch. Likewise over here. So the pouches we're going to start with first because they're a little bit easier. We're going to take both of these thin portions of them. We're going to color them just a little bit lighter than this. So just a little bit lighter, because those are also going to be hit with shadow. And then these, color them lightly, just as we have done for everything else. Just very light. Just like that. So, these side ones, you color a little bit darker on the outside because of where the arms are. Of course, again, they don't have to match. And then these ones, I'm just gonna very lightly, like, draw this open curve along both on the inside and then just a little bit on the outside, just to give the flap a little bit more of detail, texture, whatever you want to call it. You always come back, make this a little darker, and that is pretty much all your pouches plus this part. So now the belt clip, this and this. So these two pieces on the outside that are rectangles with a bit are going to be your darkest part, so we're going to color them lighter than this. So if you don't know if you can do any lighter than this part, you don't want it to look jumbly, you can take your tip of your pencil and draw that really dark, like really dark, darker than what we've drawn so far, and then just color it. That way you don't worry about them looking like they're blending together and that the torso and her gut just matches with the belt. And then the side, don't really have to worry about that too much because it is white paper. And then so these two rectangles are side rectangles that we started with. That is leather. So color them just, lightly. They're going to look dark because it's so small. But again, if you are fearful of that, just take the edge, the tip of your pencil, the edge of your pencil, and darken the surrounding areas. So now all we have left to do is clip and these couple of pieces. So our funny looking bucket and the square are going to be very light. So I'm like barely going to touch it. Like my lead is just hovering over the pencil, just enough to add a little bit of the graphite onto it. And then our small itty bitty square is going to be regular pressure as far as lightness goes. It's so small it's going to look a little darker. And then all we have to do is these twin pieces and this rectangle. So the twin pieces, I'm just going to color again regular pressure. So they do look a little bit lighter than our middle square here, and a little bit darker than our clip. And all we have to do now is this piece. So I'm going to color it light, very light. And then I'm just going to darken the area around the square, just around the square, not the whole way across, just around. And there is your belt clip. I know that can be sometimes confusing with all these little itty bitty parts, but that's okay. Now that it's done, I'll let you guys look at that real quick. You can try to copy it down, whatever you want. But we're going to go up to the helmet now. So the helmet is pretty simple. It's going to match up pretty much the same. These top pieces of our cheekbone, the top, that's the darker portion. So we're going to color it just lighter than the visor. We're going to color this one the exact same. And we're not going to touch the bottom, not yet. We're going to come to the triangles and the top, the forehead and, the tops of these cheekbones. And we're going to color them about the same pressure that we have colored every other armor piece, every other piece of cloth, and we're just going to go across it. I recommend going up and down when you hit here, and then following the shape of the helmet the whole way across, and then just doing like circles, very long circles across, just to get like a smooth look, since it is the helmet piece, very important. So there is that. And now right here on the outside edge of the light portion of the cheekbone, we're going to darken it just a little bit. Make sure you blend it out with varying pressures on your pencil if you haven't. And then the same thing on the other side. So now we can, again, very light pressure, color in these bottom pieces of the cheekbone. And then all we have to do is ears and a little bit of shading up here, and then we'll be all done. So this is going to be darker, so you can just color that dark about the same as your cheekbones, just like that, since it is behind. And then pretty much the same thing as here, starting dark, but a little bit lighter on the bottom, dark again on the top, light on the bottom. If you think that is blended too much, you can add in the lines. And then the sun is, of course, dropping down, so the right here, this edge is going to be a little bit darker. You don't have to go the whole way over. You can go like 3/4 of the way over, and then have your shadow fall a little bit more on this side. That is what I'm going to do. Just working lightly until you get your desired darkness without, overdoing it. So there is my Mandalorian. I did it darker on this side, didn't touch over here, and then I'll do a little bit on the blaster, and then add in some scratches. So I'm just going to have them going over the eye, and a couple right on there, a few underneath, and a couple here. You don't usually add any here in your oval cheekbone pieces because it is indented inward and wouldn't take the brunt of a knife to the face, That would be your outside. So there's your Mandalorian female torso and up. All you're going to do now is pick somewhere next to your drawing, sign it off, and you're done. Okay, everybody, so that is our female Mandalorian torso and up. Let me know if I did a decent job in step-by-step explaining how to do it. Of course, yours won't look like mine right away. Maybe it looks better than mine. I hope so. But there is my follow-along walkthrough. Let me know if you want me to do any other like Star Wars character, Twi'lek, Dathomirian, any of that sort. I of course always do take suggestions, or if there's a digital art you want me to do, I take suggestions as well for those. Anything like that. I hope that I can set up a Discord for all you guys so I can see what you guys are drawing, if any of you guys are more talented, and different art styles perhaps. I would love to see that, or just your quick sketches, little doodles, whatever you want, comics, any of that good stuff. I would love to see that one day, so hopefully I can get that up. So I will see you guys over in my Male Mandalorian torso and helmet follow along. So thank you guys for watching. If you stuck around this long, I know it was a long one. The next one will be too. I can guarantee that already. So thank you guys. Everyone stay safe out there, and maybe I'll see you guys on the stream this Wednesday if you guys go over to at Stay on Target or Bismo. He has a Discord. I'm over there as well. So hope I can see you guys soon. Bye.